Welcome back to the war table, everyone. As we continue to follow
to the war table,
wow,
everyone.
that was not good. There we go. As we continue to follow, I had my Twitch on as well, so that would have been feedbacky. As we continue to follow the world slowly marching towards flames and destruction, turn by turn. So far, we're at early 1937. The world is still officially at peace, but only just. In 1936, Germany remilitarized the Rhineland and secured Swedish trade. Italy conquered Ethiopia and celebrated victory. Spain became the battlefield of spies rather than armies, as a coup quietly installed more Axis-friendly government, but effectively just moved the Republic from between democracies and the communists to between everyone. France, Germany, Japan, and the United States have begun rearming. Moscow watches carefully. Washington has re-elected Roosevelt, but still hesitates to act. No shots fired between great powers, yet. But the machinery of war is starting to turn. This is not history as it was. This is history as it might be. And we are now on the turn of March and April 1937. And I've already pre-prepared by having the bids bet and laid out. And here they are. We're going to have Germany bidding 2 plus 4 equals 6. The USA bets 3 bid points, gets a plus 3 as well, ends up at 6 as well. Tiebreaker there goes to Germany, because Germany has a higher political effectiveness. Italy bids 4, has a plus 1, leads to 5. The Commonwealth bids 3. So Italy was going to go for here. There we go. The Commonwealth bets 3 bid points, gets a plus 1 from last turn. That puts us to 4. Japan bids a 1 point, get plus 3 from last turn, also gets a 4. But because Japan hasn't installed Tojo yet, that means that Japan will go after the Commonwealth. So we have the Commonwealth, we have Japan, and then we have the USSR bidding 1, gets plus 2. Oh, France bids 1. Bets 1, gets plus 2, so does the USSR. Both have a 3, and because of this, France will actually go first. And finally, China bids 1 plus 0, ends up with a 1. And here we are. This is the new initiative order for March and April 1937. Let's see who is going to do what. We start with Germany. All right. Germany is going to play an option, yes. It's going to sign an economic agreement with Sweden to get the last of the possible resources from Sweden. Here we go. Initiative is equal to or lower than the miner's will, which it is because, like, Germany's first, and the willpower of Sweden is 2. So when you are in initiative position 1 or 2, this is a possibility to do. Alright, that means that we will now be able to move the 2 resources there, exchanges for 3, because that is what Germany is gaining from that. This costs Germany 4 points. Germany had bid. Let me move back here in my notes. Germany had bid 2 bid points. Germany has only the 1. So we go down to 0 there, and then 1 German money. And then 4 more German money for the economic agreement. That moves it down to 1 money left. And we're going to get a Germany plus 1 marker here in influence in Sweden. And we're going to have to decide if Germany, what country, what minor power might Germany be interested in activating? That is not an easy question at the moment. We could activate Poland simply to do away with all of these various influences on Poland. If there is one more point of influence on Poland in favor of the French, then Poland would in fact be movable towards the democracies, and we don't want that. At the moment, Poland is allied with both Germany and France. Yeah, it requires 3 points to move it closer to either side because of that. Alright, there we have it. We are now going to check here if anyone else gets to do their turn. We're going to roll a d10. If it's a 1 or a 2, the turn ends immediately. But it's a 2. Oh my. Last turn, everybody got to do something. This time, it is only Germany. Oh my. Alright then, so the US had bet. There. We tried to get things done here. We didn't get things done because Germany rolled out immediately. The US had no bid points at all and -2 money. So those 3 that were bet is actually out of the cash box. So now it's -5 money. I have a feeling the US will not be doing a whole lot of producing anytime soon. Wasted opportunity there. But the US does get 2 bid points because of its political effectiveness as a token. Italy had bid 4 bid points, does not get to do anything because it has 11 bid points right there. It will actually go down 1 net, -4 plus 3 is 1 net, so it has 11 bid points now. France bid the single one, which comes out of the cash box, gains 3 because it didn't get a chance to act now. France needs to hold an election, and it does need to do it immediately. The Commonwealth bid 3 and gains 3 back again as a comfort, as it were, because they didn't get to do anything. The USSR bid 1, gains 2, so it's nets +1. One of these days, the USSR is going to fix that. Japan bid 1, gains net 1, so gains 2. And China bid 1, gains 1, as always. And that is the whole of the political turn. So now we've had 3 political turns where only 1 or 2 countries at most got to act, and then 1 political turn where everybody had, almost, where 5 had a chance to act. Alright, we are going towards reinforcement segment. Let's see what's going to come here. The Commonwealth does not have to hold an election now, but France does, because the Commonwealth has to hold an election in 1939. Alright, so we have 1 Chinese army and 1 Soviet army coming in. Yeah. Where might the Soviet army go? Do we want to beef up the presence here in Vladivostok, for example? Why not? Nah, a 3-2, and it costs 3 to march through the forest here. So it's not the best, I guess, to put there. I'll put it here instead on the European map. We will put it where? Oh look, we forgot to unflip a unit. So we have full contingents in Leningrad. Might want to start moving troops out of Kiev and Minsk, so we can place more troops there. But we do have Odessa as well, so let's pop him down in Odessa. Alright, the Chinese unit, so very much appreciated and very much needed. Where do we want to enter that unit? Oh, Qingdao, how about that? We were talking about that last time, that Qingdao is under-defended. So here we go. There's some coastal defenses in Qingdao now. Yep, that's how you pronounce it. It's not Tsingtao, it's Qingdao. So now you know. The more you know, the better. We'll have some Japanese reinforcements coming in. I need to fix Vladivostok. Yeah, eventually. Rip. Vladivostok does need to have a garrison, but at the moment we're not terribly worried because we have a nice border patrol here. Okay, we have an absolutely useless Japanese fighter here. Hopefully. Oh yeah, I moved countries and forgot. Yeah, you're fair. That's fair. Alright, what do we have here in this world? We have, oh, look at that. German paratroopers and a German transport and 2 British transports and an American one. Lots of transports, everyone. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna put the American transport in the west coast. Not so the British one. The British one, I guess we'll put them here for now. Or here? I thought it was 2, but it was only 1. Well, the German transport goes in Kiel, of course. Where else? And then we have a paratrooper. Fallschirmjäger. We can put that in Nuremberg. And that is it for the reinforcements for March and April. Okay, we have... That was the reinforcement stage. Initiative segment. Weather segment. Here we go. Okay, initiative for the 2 sides. Let's go. And we roll a 6 and a 3. That is very Allied initiative indeed. And they even have a +1. So it is now Allied initiative. Let's go. We could ask for a reroll on the Axis side, but there is absolutely no point in doing so because no wars have started yet. So the Allies will now roll for weather. For March and April in this peaceful world where nobody suspects anything bad to happen anytime soon. I rolled another 2 for that. Okay, March and April, clear exactly everywhere. I think that Japan is... I wanted to do something and I didn't. Anyway. Alright. Clear everywhere. One step... It's one step, isn't it? It's just going to be a super long turn where almost nobody has anything to do. Alright. We will start. We will start with the... What is it? It's the... Resource transportation segment. That's what we're talking about. Okay. So, the Commonwealth can finally get a convoy all the way down to South Africa. Here we go. Which is 2 more resources for the Commonwealth. Doesn't matter now, but it will in the future. I think the Commonwealth should probably start thinking about putting some troops into Egypt and stuff like that. Which means that they would need troops, but it's still early and we're building ships. It's not easy being the Commonwealth in this game. Alright. Allied First Impulse. I don't know that the Allies have a whole lot to do. We have our division here in Singapore. We have an Indian unit here in... It's a Burmese Indian unit, actually. We have Australian destroyers. It's all nice. It's the 1930s. Everything is fine. The war to end all wars happened. It's almost 20 years ago when it ended. The young people who were born and now are coming of age, graduating from high school, I guess, have only their elders' stories to tell about that terrible time. I'm sure it will never come back. In other words, I don't really see that I have any particular reason to move any particular thing for anyone here. Like, it's all fine. So, Axis First Impulse. We actually do have a reason to move something on the Axis side, and that is specifically... Let's see now. Oh, look at that. We have a Marine here. Yes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This one stays here. And then we're going to rebase this aircraft 1, 2, 3, 4 into Korea. Because there's a lot of air forces around here. And Japan needs to make sure of things. We're going to move this Marine on top of Taiwan. Then the question is if the Marines should... Yeah, where they're gonna try to land, because this is not easy right now. There's no war yet. Yeah, these are exercises, merely exercises, not in any way, shape, or form an actual preparation for war. You understand? It's you just have to be alert to what's going on around you. That's all. Yep, that's all it is. I'm gonna move the paratroopers there. We can't move into Austria yet with the German tanks because technically the Germans respect the Austrian independence. That's what they do. Yep. Yes, sir. Italy. So if we want to do some snappy things around here, I think we should have... How many transports do we have? Huh, look at that. We have the HQ here, Badoglio. We have a tactical bomber. We have a fighter. We have a transport. I'm thinking. Don't think, folks. Don't thinks. Don't words. I can move this one there, and I can move this one here. They're still in supply, it's all fine. And that will allow me to transport further units into North Africa. Look at this, look at this. We're gonna rail the Alpini Corps there, just in case. And I'm thinking about putting the transports in Trieste, just in case. So now they are used. Alright, that is basically it, I think, for all the X's. All of these are just maneuvers. No reason to fret. The Allies have no reason to move anything, except maybe the Soviets would want to move out some troops here. Okay, let's do that. Like that. So Minsk is open. We can move like this as well. All of these guys, including Rokossovsky. Now Kyiv can receive reinforcements. And the Russian can actually move 6 units, I think. Or is it 5? I think it's 5 on a combined. These are 5. So we can move... That was... Yeah, that was all 5. Right there. That's all they can do. So it's just to keep the reinforcement spawn points, in modern language, clear, as it were. Alright. That's that for the second summer impulse. The March and April is not summer, but this is a very warm March and April, so. Okay, Axis. I could move. I could rebase the aircraft here, because we have all of these Soviets here. You know what? I might not want to have this one here, because if the Soviets start doing bad things, we might want to have the naval here to bomb some convoys. There aren't any real protections for that. There's a submarine So let's have a look at how far our nav unit can move. Again, nav's 8. So 4 on this map, which means 8 when you're rebasing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, let's put him in the port here. So it can go out and just do bad things in case of war. Other than that, nothing much to add, really. So, going on to the next impulse. The Allied impulse. How many more impulses without any war will this game have? We'll find out, won't we? The Allies are fine. Except the USSR. Let's move some troops out of Odessa. Just to clear the hex. It's just an exercise. It's just an exercise. Don't worry about it. No problems at all. Alright, ends on a 0, so it can't end yet. Axis can end it on a 1 or a 2. Axis have no reason to move much of anything in this particular moment. Just don't have enough troops, that's what it is. So we're gonna roll, and if we roll a 1 or a 2, the turn ends. It does not. Allies will end it on a 1 or a 2. Yeah, let's go for that. There's no reason to. Nope. Axis will roll it, end it on 1, 2, or 3. Now everybody's just passing to end the turn. Here we go, it ends. So that was that for March and April 1937. Maneuvers, marchings, deployments. Let's go to the end of turn phase, shall we? Partisan phase. Let's roll for partisans. It's a 1. I don't think that does anything. Greece, Spain, Finland, France, Yugoslavia, Malaya, USA, India. Nope, nothing. Combo attack, coup phase, US enter phase. Production phase! We're back to production. Okay. The United States is at -5, gains 5, and builds nothing unless they absolutely have to. Do they have to? No, not on that one. And this one has to be in May, June 38, so it doesn't have to be built yet. So let's not. Which means that the US gearing limit goes down to a 0. I'm just saving money for now. The Commonwealth has 6 production per turn, 9 money, and we have, yeah, that's in July, August. That's in years out. And this one is in November, December 38, so we don't have to build it yet. What do we want to build now then? Oh, why is that one lying there? It probably belongs here, doesn't it? So, what do we want to build as Commonwealth? We have some money. We can build things. Fighters. Fighters is not a bad idea. Infantry, just to have something to put in Africa. But infantry is faster to build than other things. I only have 5 infantry to build at the moment. Light ships, always important. Let's go. There. That is $4. And a fighter, I think, actually, for 4 more bucks. Nice. Probably a squadron of Spitfires, that. And there we go. I didn't build a transport with the British for the first time in a long time. I'm almost feeling ashamed of myself, but there we are. We're gonna build more transports too, definitely. How many more do we have? 2. Yeah, we're almost there. France has 2 money, has 7 production, has 9 money. Look at that. France has money. We're all shocked. Shocked, I'm telling you. January, February 1940. Yeah, that's gonna take a while. Don't have to build that one now. How about this one? November, December 38, so we can wait. We are going to build infantry and air force, really. That is what France will need. Let's go with a fighter and an infantry. It's something, I guess. Some Devoitin de 520. I flew that plane a lot in World War II online way back in the day. And I loved it because the roll rate on that plane was just ridiculous. Don't know if anyone has ever heard of the D520 before, but it was in World War II online. Alright, Germany had 1 money left because the thing we did with resources and everything. Did I add the extra resource to the German? I don't think I did. I? Probably not. So it's going to be 13 now. Translates directly to more money, it does. 14 money now. Germany definitely needs some bid points. I have a feeling that's going to be a layup for 0G at some point. On the other hand, it has such a high initiative, so it's lovely. Did we need to complete the heavy surface here? Not yet. Okay, so Germany can do other things. Let's see. Germany had a gearing limit of 0 on everything at the moment. Alright, that's the case. How about building another fighter? Because we've noticed that the Allies are building fighters. We don't like that much. An infantry. And maybe an armor. Because Germany does need that stuff. We're gonna need some subs too down the line, but for now... So, Germany builds an aircraft, infantry, armor. The gear up immediately is felt across the world. Three great powers are building their air forces, and right now Germany is being outbuilt by Commonwealth and France, which is not so good for Germany. Okay, we have 4 production per turn here for Italy. So right now Italy is at a -2. Yay! Italy is not building anything this turn unless they absolutely have to. Not there. I don't think they have to. Nope, that's repair pool. We will want to build those eventually, but not when we're sitting at $2 deficit. Alright. USSR has 4 money plus 4 equals 8. And nobody's going to be very surprised to find that the USSR is building infantry. Huh? Great. Scott. It can even build 2 infantry, so why don't we do that? 2 infantry. Ooh, we don't know what they are yet. They are a 4-3 and a 5-2. Very typical for Soviet infantry of year 1937 quality. Japan has 8 production per turn. That means 7 money at the moment. Needs to build what? This doesn't have to get in yet. 39. It's a while. Also a while. So I guess we're clear what we have to build with Japan. It's aircraft and infantry, really. I'm going to build 2 infantry with Japan. Because the time is coming for that. So that is all the money we have, really. I'm going to need more aircraft too, eventually. But for now, it's going to be infantry. There we go. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. The power of the Japanese, Imperial Japanese Army. You should all be afraid. I don't think I've ever built a para with Japan before. So that's a fun experiment. Okay, China doesn't build anything because it sits at 2 money. So that is the eternal problem for the Chinese. Just not enough money. Okay, return to base face. Which is, of course... Wait a minute, I can only have... Oh, it's a major port, so it's not a problem. So I can have the transport here. Have to decide. We're gonna have to build another transport, aren't we? Japan has everything to transport and not enough transports to do it with. Classic problem. And... this one is no longer used either. This is... we're doing the final reorganization as we're going on with things here. Flip that one. And that's really it. Alright. Oh my, that was a short turn, wasn't it? Okay, we're getting to the next one, which is May-June of 1937. And still no wars in sight. This is the thing with the short political turns, it just ends everything too quickly, doesn't it? Now we have to decide what to bet for next turn. And I haven't made my mind up on that yet. Really? What did I just do? Oh. I see. I clicked on a thing and then a thing happened. Oopsies. Now here we are. Doom. Just taking some notes here because I can. So we have bonuses there. We have bid points for each respective nation. Yes, it's at 2. And we have the Commonwealth sits at 6 still. France at 3. France is definitely going to have to bid to get an election done. Germany at 0. Italy at 10. Russia at... How much were we at? 10. And Japan sits at 3. And China sits at 3. Let's see. What would make sense here for the various powers to bid? Because it all happens simultaneously and hidden. Germany's going to bid a single point, I think. Or possibly 2, because that would give them 5, right? And they still have a lot of work to do. So let's bid 2 for them. Get them 6 in total. It does have things it wants to do. Will bet 1 gets 4 in total. Italy also has things it wants to do, and has a whole helping of bid points. Maybe it would bid 4 this turn to give it 7. The Commonwealth do... Oh, the Commonwealth didn't get to do the thing last time. Okay, it's going to bid 3 again. That's 5. Which puts it ahead of the US, right? The US bids 2. Japan will bid 4. Get it 6. Italy is at a 6. Germany is at a 6. Oh, if Germany is at a 6, it actually goes before. So it's going to be like this then? The axes are all going ahead. And France bids 3, gets 4, which is useless in this case. The Soviet Union bids 1, gets 2, and there we are. Okay then. That wasn't the best round for the US, I guess. But Germany has bet 2. Which comes out of the cash box. And it will do what? We don't have an economic agreement with Romania for the rest of the oil there yet. We want all the oil, right? It's either that or a coup sell in Spain. But it's a lot of money with a coup sell in Spain. There's also the idea of a coup sell in Turkey. But I know the community wanted to go all in on Spain. So maybe we should do that. Alright. Coup sell in Spain it is. Oh, we're stretched here, money-wise. We'll have to activate the coup cell at some point as well to remove the French coup cell, and then we're still stuck with nothing much happening. So why did I do that? Why do a coup cell in Spain? Nah, let's not do a coup cell in Spain. That's just expensive. Better to have Romania. That gives us 1 money back. And it gives us 2 resources for Romania. It gives us a +1 to Romania. Where did we have the markers? Here. Clone. Boop. And then we get to activate a minor power. What happens with Czechoslovakia? Can I move it anywhere? I could move it on top of France and then away from France, and then it's right there again. So that's useless. Don't want to activate Sweden. I could activate... Don't want to activate Denmark. I want to like -3 to Denmark before I activate that. Could activate Norway. Could activate the Netherlands just to keep... No, -2 to France is very useful to us. Spain, yeah, doesn't matter. Don't want to activate that. Greece? Alright, activate Greece, I guess. -1 to Italy is gone. I'm realizing that it might be better to activate Spain and keep the Greece marker around. Because this way, Spain won't move anywhere, but we have something in mind down the line. Oh yes. So, the headlines for Romania. Alright. We're gonna check if the turn ends, of course. It ended last turn like this. Like, only Germany gets to do stuff. But not this time! Other countries will get to do stuff this time. Alright. So... we have our friends in Berlin reporting. I'm getting the report right now. Alright, let's see now. Berlin secures Eastern trade lifeline. The German government today announced the conclusion of an economic agreement with Romania, describing it as a purely commercial arrangement intended to stabilize raw material supplies and industrial output. Officials emphasized that the agreement threatens no one, framing it instead as a rational response to Germany's vulnerability to global markets. Foreign observers were less convinced, noting that the agreement is specifically for oil from the Ploiești oil fields. Berlin is converting diplomacy into strategic depth without firing a shot. In London and Paris, reactions were muted. Wary but cautious. So, I should add another resource, which just adds to the production here. Chunka 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 is what we hear from the factories out here. Okay, Italy has now an option to play. And Italy wanted to do a thing last turn that it didn't have a chance to do. So, what is it going to do again? Italy wants to... I had it in my notes. It can't actually do an economic agreement because Germany just did. Isn't that annoying? Can't really make any alliances that are meaningful. Ooh, but yes, could make an alliance with Spain. Okay, could that work out? Let's have a look. Spain's... a minor alliance with Spain. Costs $5. Requires... minor has less than 2 alliances. True. So, minor alliance. Add 1 to the result for each resource and factory marker you have in that minor. Italy has none. Add the miner's willpower. Spain has a lot of willpower, which is a problem for them, isn't it? No, it doesn't. It has a 3 willpower. Ugh. Okay, so we add 3. Subtract your initiative position, which is a 2. So now we have a +1 left. Subtract the distance in hexes between them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's -6, it's -7 now. No, +1. Is it? Okay, 6. Are they hostile or not? The Spanish Republic? Yep. Yeah, so we're not going to get an alliance with them, are we? That's annoying. Okay, let's not try that. It was something I had in mind. And I forgot. Should Italy sign a minor... No, it can't, because Germany just signed a minor economic agreement. Should Italy set up another coup cell? Italy has very little money left. So... 0G, which is a little bit boring, but gives a lot of bid points. Can't do minor agreements. We could activate the coup cell in Yugoslavia, because that would actually do something. A minor coup in Yugoslavia. How does that feel like, y'all? It won't be countered by anyone. So, what would that do for the likelihood of it actually being a coup? So, must be less than or equal to the miners' willpower. Yugoslavia's willpower is a 4, so that's not a problem. Roll a die, subtract 1 for each alliance the miner has with another major power, and 1 for each alliance you have. So that's plus minus 2. Add the miner stability factor. Stability factor is a 2. And add the annual modifier on the table. Yeah, no annual modifier because... So, if I roll a die... I need to roll... There's... Okay, it's 50-50 chance of a counter coup. I'm not in love with that. If I roll high enough, so it's allied to 2 others, that's minus 2, and I have 2 alliances with Italy, so that's plus 2, so that's 0, and then the stability is 2, so that's plus 2, so a d10 plus 2, on average. Why not? Let's roll them bones. Let's see what happens. Italy is messing with the foreign power again. Italy really can't afford this. How many bid points did I put into this again? It was 3, wasn't it? I think it was 3. I think it was 3. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Italy really needs to stop messing with the world. We're using this to try to do a coup in Yugoslavia. We're rolling a d10 plus 2. Here we go. And we rolled a 5 plus 2 on the coup table. That is a coup. 2 dice worth. Coup in Yugoslavia. Let's see how much we move Yugoslavia. 1. And 2. That's just 6 points worth. That's sad. So 6 points worth. We were not implicated. 1, 2, 3. Yugoslavia is gonna move like this. Wait, is it though? We have 6 points to move. And they are allied with France and the Soviet Union. this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 2 points. But we're moving away from France. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is actually 3 points. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. So this would be 5. Okay, so that's another 3 points. We moved it 2 steps away from France. That's all. It's the second time the Secret Service of Italy has meddled in another nation, and actually affected a change, a positive change. These Italian spies are amazing. Of course, nobody is implicated in this. Yugoslavia awoke today to a quiet but unmistakable political tremors. Government reshuffle, sudden resignations, and the appearance of a new national unity voices in Belgrade have fueled widespread speculation of foreign interference, but there is no evidence. Rome denies direct involvement. Diplomatic observers confirm that Italian influence has surged dramatically behind the scenes, though. The shift is not voluntary, and it's not revolutionary, I should say. No banners raised, no troops marching, but it is important and significant. Yugoslavia's political compass has swung sharply towards the Axis cap, altering the balance of powers in the Balkans without a single shot fired. Western embassies describe the development as deeply concerning, noting that Italy's hand appears firmer and more confident than before. Berlin has remained conspicuously silent. Yugoslavia remains formally independent. But is it truly neutral? It says it's more neutral than it was before-ish, maybe. Alright, we have to activate a minor power. I'm gonna activate... I don't want to activate Turkey. Okay, now we're going to activate Greece. Alright, and let's see if the turn ends. It does! Once again, the turn ends. Japan is really frustrated at this point. Bet 1, gets 2 back. Did I bet only the 1? How many bid points did I bet for Japan this time? I think I bet more. I bet 2. So, yeah, plus minus. Commonwealth bet 3. Gets it back. The US bet... It was 2. So plus minus again. The USSR bet 1, I think, so we're back at, wasn't it? Yeah. So it gets a net of plus 1. China bet 1 as always. France bet 3. So that's plus minus. How's France so far down if it bet 3? Oh, because everybody else was betting intensely as well. That's why. It's going to have to bet bolder than that to be able to actually take any actions, clearly. Alright, let's have a look at the reinforcements. France still needs to hold an election. Japan gains... air power and infantry. One air transport in Kitakyushu. Sorry if I mangle pronunciations. And one infantry army in Tokyo. We are getting troops into the Soviet Union. And see, we can put some of these into... Yeah, the 6-3 is definitely going to Vladivostok. The Soviets have yet to purge their generals. When will that happen, we wonder. This guy could go into Minsk. Alright, and then we have... here a French infantry and some transports. Surprise! Transports! That has never happened before with the British. Or the Americans, for that matter. The Americans are going to have to start building light surface ships, honestly, because we're going to need a lot of them. Alright, we are having some infantry. Where do we want to put this infantry? We have 2 here. Alright, let's put it right here in the Metz. Under Petain, who is going to show up as, like, super general. Right? Now we have 3 transports in the West Coast. I think we have, like, transports now. Feeling pretty good about that. London has transports. It's going to have to send a transport sooner or later over to Canada because there's going to be a lot of troops coming from there. Did we get anything else here? No. Nothing. Look at that. It's empty. Nothing German, nothing Italian. Alright then. Initiative segment. It's now May and June, and we have a 6 for the Axis and a 2 for the Allies. That's a very Axis initiative. It's still gonna be peaceful in the world. 4 for weather. Ah, it's clear exactly everywhere, but next time we'll have a -1 on the weather roll. Alright, so we will start with pipeline placements. Is there any pipeline placement I want to do with the Commonwealth? I'm thinking about that because look, here we have 1 here, but we don't have any convoys leading us all the way out to Australia, but we can. So it's 1 here, 1 here, and we need 1 there. And even that isn't going to be enough because Canberra has 3 resources. Though we do have 2 resources, Darwin, and 2 resources there, so I guess it works to get through there. But that's still 3 transports needed for that, and we don't have 3 transports, so let's not do that. Alright then. We have Gort here. And we have a fighter, and we have a 6-4. There's some stuff we can do here. Okay, let's start the turn, shall we? Axis impulse. Here we go. Honestly, the Axis don't know how much they really have to do. I'm not even going to move this air transport because once the Japanese para comes online, we'll just use the transport to ship them over. This 3-2 though, that one. 1, 2, 3, 4. It can step into Port Arthur here. We have now used a transport. We're slowly building a presence. That's what I'm saying. For the Italians, we didn't get any new troops of any kind. This guy, however, is going to go there because that's a big hole in the defense right there. In case... Yeah, the next question is, why do I have 2... Well, I guess it's because they can get all the way up. But they could get all the way up anyway. I get the submarines. I'm not sure I get the light surface. I could move them down to Taranto with the rest of them. Let's do that. I'm just gonna send them out down here to the to Taranto and just let Genoa be this big submarine base. Alright, Germany didn't get anything new. In particular, we have that one, we have that one. Alright, I guess that's it for the Axis. Allies! Nothing much to do for the Chinese because they're not going to get an army for a while again. The Soviets can put this 3-2 over there. Clearing out Minsk. What else do we have? I did notice here. So we have 2 transports here. And we have some units here. So Gort is not a terribly good HQ, to be honest. It really isn't. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if there's one HQ I don't really care for having in Britain, it's probably Gort. Really. I can't really see why Gort would be useful there. We have a submarine here, but it's already done 2 naval moves with the British, the Brits. Okay. Allied Axis second impulse. It's summer. It's going to be a long one. This guy is really here to cover for these, and it's going to be a struggle to do that because a 3 is not terribly impressive. Why did I put? Okay. It's because I'm going to get a whole bunch of... So I guess I'm going to send that transport over there for now, because we will get more infantry in very soon, and we want to have them in the right spot. But Italy is otherwise fine. And so, yeah, we need to start building some real troops with various Axis forces. Certainly Italy has spent a lot on coup cells lately, and that's not going to last, so we need to do something else. Alright. As long as they do something, that's all that matters. Yes! I know, it's still pre-war stage, and therefore nothing much is happening on the board, which is not the most interesting thing to watch, but it's a slow burn, and eventually things will kick off. And I have a feeling the one thing we haven't gotten this time in this game is the Spanish Civil War, which is why things haven't kicked off properly yet. The nations are prepared for a Spanish Civil War, but there isn't much else they can do about it. Let's see, we can move some Tunisians here, just in case. 1, 2, 3. There we have it. Axis third impulse. I'm not sure anyone is doing anything for the Axis side right now. Oh yeah, I am actually sure that somebody's doing something. Let's go. The question is this guy going to the pile over here or to the pile over here? Because this looks bad. Okay, so apparently we're doing this. There's an awful lot of Soviet troops lined up here, and oh, I'd forgotten to flip that one back. And yeah, that's holding the Japanese back a little bit, I'm thinking. But on the other hand, how long can the Soviets maintain a presence like this in East Asia? As long as the Germans aren't doing anything bad, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, okay, so we railed something. That's what we did. It's not going to end yet. Allied gets to do their second side. And again, nothing much to do here. We've already done what we wanted to, so I guess we could just pass with everything. Unless we want to send... we have a transport there. I'm going to send one transport here out to Pearl. 1, 2, 3, 4. There. That's not a pass. Okay. Axis. I don't know which impulse it is now. We've railed that guy. There isn't a whole lot of other stuff to do here yet for a while. So I guess we can pass and roll to end the turn on a 1. Or 2. Which it didn't. Allies will end the turn or 1, 2, or 3. Axis will end the turn or 1, 2, or 3. And there it goes. Okay. May, June has ended as well. We will now roll for partisans. Or the action phase, I should say. 5. Partisan table. Sweden, Persia, Romania, France, Yugoslavia, occupied China, South Africa, Burma. That is nothing at all, because there is no war with China yet. Alright then. Japan is going to have to do things. That's what Japan is going to have to do. Soon. Alright, so US interface, production phase. This is an unusually passive. It's because I keep rolling out on politics. I don't know. Something is wrong with the die, clearly. US now has 5 money. And 2 bid points. And with 5 money and 2 bid points, let's see, it's May, June of 1937. That means that we have to get a flat top in, and it's going to go to Pearl eventually. It is... Saratoga and Enterprise are on the way. -1 money for the US. US is 1 ship gearing limit now. Okay, the Commonwealth, 1 money, 7 money. Not yet there. November, December 38, that's a while. So I think we're gonna build the final transports, or shall we? We have 7 money. I guess I could build a transport and a light surface just to get these guys started, because they take such a long time to get in. So -1 money. So, transport. Right. And a light surface, which is going to go into the construction pool. And that is, in fact, 2 ships for the Commonwealth. France is 9 money? +7? Gee. We have 16 money. What? Didn't I build stuff last turn? I built stuff last turn. I know I built stuff last turn. I built an infantry and a fighter, so that 9 is a lie. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And now, so we're gonna be back at 9 again. Okay. So, more infantry, more fighters. That is what I feel is the priority right now. We need to have a solid defense in France. We do not have that yet. So that is 4 + 3, 7. Yeah, that's the same as last time. It's almost like we're using exactly our production right now. That's 1 infantry and 1 fighter. Not gonna make it easy for the Luftwaffles. The loose waffles. The waffles that fly. Germany has -5 money. That's a turret. 14 per turn, so +11 money. Okay. January, February 39. March, April 39. January, February 39. There's going to be a lot of ships built. Okay, let's build this thing right now so we just get rid of it. Don't have to think about it in the future. It is, in fact, Gneisenau and Scharnhorst. That costs $5. We have 6 left. I have an air transport coming in, don't I? Yes. Next turn. Excellent. So we have both paras in. How about another tactical bomber? We're gonna need those. Or a submarine. So much to build in so little time. Mountaineers, tactical bombers, subs. I'll build a sub. Unterseewaffen. 4. So, naval builds this turn. Just German naval builds. How often does that happen? I can answer. Not very often. That was 1 ship and a sub. Submarine comes in there. Okay, Italy is at a minus all of the minuses. -3 now. Can't build a thing this turn either. I'm not even sure that Italy accomplished a whole lot with that coup cell. We needed to roll much better to get it over here. So I feel like there's been a lot of wasted Italian money, and Italy is probably just going to start building its troops now because, ouch. Okay, USSR has 6 money. That is exactly enough money to build 2 infantry. You couldn't have guessed that, could you? That was impossible to guess. Japan has 8 productions on 9 money. It is now May, June of 37. That's not going to get in for a while yet. Nope. And nope. Okay, so what do we want to build with Japan? More transports, more infantry, definitely more infantry. We have 9 money. Definitely more fighters. There's so much to build. Okay, so maybe 1 of each then, I guess. 1 infantry. 1 fighter. That's better. So together that is 3 plus 4 is 7. Now we're down to 2 money. And then I can't afford any transports. But that's okay. Because this is also not bad. One infantry and 1 fighter. Japanese definitely needed that. So 1 infantry and 1 fighter. Italy is building nothing again. China is probably building nothing. We had 2 infantry for the USSR. No! China is building 1 infantry. Look at that. All the money on these guys. And it's gonna be a communist infantry. Exactly what they wanted. Or is it? So China actually builds 1 infantry. Alright. So far, we've had 2 political turns with absolutely no effect on US entry whatsoever. Because we've rolled out so early. Like, we've had... Yeah, it's been like that again. 3 countries got to act on 2 political turns. It's... What can I say? Return to base and final reorganization. So, let's do all that. Final reorganization. Unflip these destroyer groups. Yeah, they should actually march out, but there's time. Return to base. These guys are returning to base, and they're returning to base in Alexandria, which is not surprising to anyone, I don't think. This way, there is now a presence, a British presence in Egypt, which is probably a good thing for the Brits. We're gonna remove the used here for these two. And that is about that, I think. We have completed May-June 1937. And we are going to start on July and August. And I am absolutely sure that everything will be chill and cool and nothing bad can happen in the world. Look, it's a peaceful world. What do you mean world in flames? This is world in peace. That's what we're playing, world in peace. Alright, my friends, thank you very much for tuning in this time. And next week we will continue with 1937 and the rest of 1937. We played half of it already, and everything is peaceful and quiet. Yes, it is. We will see what the tensions in the world might bring. So far, Germany is just reaching out, building economic agreements. There's 2 more resources to be had in Romania. Italy, Italian spies have been this, there, and everywhere doing things, but the Italian High Command is now asking Mussolini to divert some resources to the Navy and Army and Air Force, because in the arms race, Italy is lagging behind. Meanwhile, Stalin is starting to look at Tukhachevsky and some of the other officers with, shall we say, less than kind eyes. Who knows? Things might be about to kick off there. And Japan is itching to do its own agenda, but has not enough bid points right now. So, we'll see. Yeah. Thank you very much for tuning in. And we will follow this to the bitter end, probably. See you next week.